Since week 5, I've had the opportunity to learn new modeling techniques through evolving my skill set and how materials are used in a creative manner to create spaces that articulate a certain ambience that heightens individuals' experiences. I started with the mundane layout of my room in both paper and cardboard, although I specifically removed the ceilings to showcase the interior of the spaces. My next model consisted of both tracing paper and cardboard. Due to these unprecedented circumstances of COVID-19, I got creative with sourcing materials, using corrugated cardboard from shoeboxes and tracing paper in order to create a sense of opacity, hereby attempting to use the previous models as a starting point, where I used different geometric shapes in the absence of linear walls to create an interesting environment. Although my default on this particular model was it being too busy, with materials that were aesthetically disconnected. But this pushed me to create more simplistic designs that use aesthetically coherent materials. Another default to these previous 3 models is the way I use light to photograph them, thus being the use of concentrated and multicolored light sources in a space that obstructed natural light, further creating an artificial and fluorescent result, as well as the angle the camera and model is positioned, hereby not creating a sense of coherency to my series of images. I also lacked in Photoshop skills here, by not showing the entire exterior environment and cropping images in order to force a neat and tidy appearance. This model has evidently been manipulated into a space that focuses on the use of repetitive forms being rectangular and triangular and how they interact with different light sources and their ever-changing effects and print on this space due to the varying of light sources and their intensities. Further experienced and manipulated in the next 2 models shown, where their interesting forms transform the ambience of the spaces through the changing relationship between positive and negative light, hereby being, in my perspective, a huge development from the initial models that I made. Next, I positioned my models outside to get concentrated natural light on white reflective boards. Although this didn't create an artificial tone, I wasn't getting the correct depth of shadows and light to elevate my spaces, also seen through the positioning of my models, where I should have used a consistent middle focal point, also shown in the previous 3 slides. The next 4 slides expose the lessons learned through this experimentary process, where I use a restricted amount of natural light with varied concentrated monochromatic light sources with my final 5 models, heightening the simplistic and geometric designs even further through Photoshop, where I manipulate the exposure, light, shadows, and other technical elements to heighten the seasonal ambience of these spaces.